What's up guys, David here from PhoneBuff, and in this video, I'm going to be covering 15 tips and tricks for the HTC One M8 that I think could be really helpful. Now, some of these tips are basic to Android and others are exclusive to HTC Sense, but almost all of them will help you get the most out of the HTC One M8. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the first tip is to use Motion Launch to unlock the M8. Like the name implies, Motion Launch will allow you to jump straight into things from when the screen is off, as long as the phone detects a little bit of motion like when you pick the One up or pull it out of your pocket. Swiping the screen to the left takes you straight to the home screen. Swiping to the right jumps you into blink feed. Swiping up takes you to the last screen you were looking at before the screen was locked. Swiping down activates HTC's voice dialer, and double tapping on the screen will take you to the lock screen where you can quickly get information like the time, weather, and even missed notifications, while also being able to turn the display off easily by double tapping on the screen again. The final trick in this giant first tip is to pick up the phone in landscape orientation and press one of the volume keys to launch straight into the camera. 2. Speaking of the camera, you can switch back and forth between the front and rear cameras by swiping across the screen in either direction, which I found to be a lot easier and faster than switching through the camera app's UI. 3. One of my favorite features about the M8's camera is its burst shot abilities, but by default, burst shot is limited to taking a maximum of 20 photos, which can be increased up to 99 by going into the camera settings, tapping on continuous shooting, and unchecking the limit to 20 frames option so you can help but guarantee that you'll capture that Kodak moment. 4. But of course, those Kodak moments don't always happen right away, so putting the camera into standby mode while you're waiting can help save some battery life. Do this by pressing the power button to turn the screen off, and when you're ready to take a picture, press the power button again and the phone will take you straight back into the camera regardless of whether or not you have a lock screen password enabled. 5. Since we're on the topic of saving battery, the 5th tip is to show the One's battery percentage up in the notification bar by going into the main system settings, tapping on power, and then checking on the show battery level option. 6. The quick settings in the notification shade give you easy access to the commonly used settings, but accessing them in the traditional way isn't really all that quick, so instead, try swiping down with 2 fingers instead of 1, which will take you straight to the quick settings menu. Oh, and the toggles are actually customizable, so you can choose just what toggles you want to show up. 7. Depending on where you get your HTC One from, you might be bombarded with a bunch of uninstallable apps or bloatware that you may not want, but luckily you have 2 options to get rid of them. One of them is to hit the menu button and then hide apps on the launcher, where you can check off the apps you want to hide. The second option is to disable these apps completely by going into the system settings, tapping on App Manager, swiping over all the way to all apps, and then searching for the app that you want to disable. Once you find it, press the disable button and be done with it. 8. An easy way to free up storage space is by going into the system settings, tapping on storage, and then pressing the make more space option. From here, you'll be able to see just how much storage space you have left on the phone, and you'll also get a breakdown of what exactly is taking up that space to begin with. You can delete things straight from this menu, but do keep in mind that whatever you delete here will be permanently removed from your phone. 9. By default, when you get an incoming call, you can pick the HTC One up and lift it to your ear to automatically answer. And while I think this feature is cool, if you want for any reason to disable this, you can go into System Settings, tap on Call, and then uncheck the Auto Answer Calls option. 10. When selecting text, sometimes your fingers can be your own worst enemy by getting into the way of what you're trying to select, so the 10th tip is to enable a pop-up window that enlarges text while selecting by going into the system settings, tapping on accessibility, and then checking the show magnifier option. 11. In almost every HTC app or menu, you can automatically scroll to the top of whatever you're looking at by tapping on the notification bar, which I found to be especially useful in apps like Blink Feed, where the list can get really long. 12. If you ever want to know what a certain button does in an app without actually having to press it in order to find out, you can press and hold on it and get a little pop-up window with a description of what the button actually does. 13. Whether it's a funny Snapchat or a weird text message that you want to take a screenshot of, you can do so by pressing and holding the power button and then quickly tapping the home button right after. If you're in an app where the home button isn't available, you can press and hold on the power and volume down button simultaneously to take a screenshot as well, although I found the first method to be a little bit easier. 14. Since the HTC One doesn't have a removable battery like some of the other phones on the market, if the phone ever locks up on you and is unresponsive, your best bet to restore functionality is to press and hold the power and volume up buttons simultaneously for about 10 seconds until the phone reboots. 15. So the 15th and final tip for this video is unlocking the hidden developer options menu. To do this, go into the main system settings, tap on About at the very bottom, then hit software information, then hit more, and then finally tap on the build number 7 or 8 times to become a developer. This will unlock developer options and allow you to tinker with the more advanced settings for the phone, so have fun but be careful. Alright, so that about does it for me in this video. If you found it helpful, hit that thumbs up button down there to help show your love, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more mobile technology videos from me, just like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the very next video.